Hello anyone that might be watching on YouTube, it's Paul here, and I am going to show you something in Linux Mint, and it's different than how I've seen most people do installs or updates or whatever. It seems like it gets no love, but I think it's a half decent way to do things, and that is to install the PPA the GUI way. So let's go do that. What's a PPA? It's a personal package archive in Linux. And most people do the terminal commands for this. And if you're a total noob, sometimes the terminal commands might not be the best way. At least I'm still a noob, but sometimes there might be different packages that you don't know about. So what's a PPA? It's like a personal package archive. And it's a special software repository, and some are public, some are private. Public ones are most of the ones for open source software. Some of the private ones are like if you're getting commercial software, they kind of work in a similar way, and you get the packaging PPA. I'm not going to go into all that detail. So why would you get a PPA? Let's say you want to have the latest and greatest in software, so say something like Inkscape. So you go to your software manager and you look at Inkscape, and the one that's in the regular packages or regular installer. So you go to graphics and you see and you click on this or double click. Come on, it comes up. But you always see that the one is behind the times. Let's say it's not the cutting edge. This is slightly behind for Inkscape, but I know some other programs like Blender are way, way, way behind. You're like, why is this so behind? All the videos I see are the new one, and this one is an old version or whatever. So one of the things you can do is go to what I do is go to Google and type in case for Inkscape. You type in Inkscape PPA to see if you got a new one, and then you get a page like this where it says add the PPA. So on Linux Mint, the way to add the PPA is really easy. You can either go through this menu for software sources, or you can go in the software manager like you usually do and go edit, and right there software sources. Either way it's the same thing. So I type in that, or not type in it, click on it, and you don't even have to type. And all I do is copy paste it, right? You go copy that. Oops. I'm on a laptop here, so it's a little touchy. And you go control copy. Okay, so that's not too hard. You go back to your software sources and go to PPAs. I already have a couple installed to keep some things up to date. So how do you do it? You see this little button and you click add new PPA. And look, it's automatically in there. You didn't even have to paste it. Whatever you copied last that's what you got. So you have PPA Inkscape. Okay. So you click OK. And then it comes up and it tells you what the PPA is and what you want. So you click OK. And then you get this little button that says to update the cache. So if I were to go, where is it? One for Inkscape, and try to double click it, it will tell you to refresh it anyway. So all you do is just click this update the cache button up here. And it updates. You can see what it's doing. And it'll do its thing. This part I'll speed up because it takes too long. Some error messages, but sometimes it'll still show up. So after it does the thing for the PPA sources, you'll see it on your list of repositories for PPAs. Like the official ones, you won't see much, or some of these you might see stuff. But under PPAs, you go back to your list of items and you find it. And you can either double click on this, or you can click open PPA. Either way works. And you'll see the different things. So in this case it's Inkscape, the latest one, or Trunk, which is an old one. But I'd go for the latest one. And sometimes you'll also see like debug or dev, or there's like more than one list of things and a whole list of other things. Usually you just go for the main package that is the newest one, like Inkscape. And if you're on 32-bit, I think you'll see like i386 versions. That's probably the one you want to get. Sometimes you'll see more than one version, like AMD 64 if you're on 64-bit. You can try the different versions to see which one works for you. But sometimes you'll also see debug files, or -dbg, and those might fix errors if you have errors on your install, so you can go for the debug files. And the other ones I suggest to get, if they're on the list, are doc files, because if you're offline and not on the internet and you want your help files and stuff, get the doc files. Those come in handy. But usually it's just, sometimes like this, it's just the main program for whatever reason, and you click it, and then you click install. I'm not going to do it with this Inkscape, because so far I've been satisfied with the version that's on here, but if you want to do it, that's how you do it. Install it, and it just installs the package for you, and it's real easy, and that's one way to do it. And if it updates or something, it's already in here. It's just the GUI manager, so. And because it lists everything, that's the one way it might be better than the terminal installer, so.